Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1. My name is Muhammad TAUFIK bin HASSAN. Today I want to share about Marvel and Sony negotiation on Spider-Man introduction. Firstly, Spider-Man has been most recognizable figure since his debut in Marvel Comics in 1962. As Marvel faced bankruptcy, it agreed to sell the Spider-Man movie rights to Sony. Sony will pay just $7 million to own the movie right to Marvel's most popular characters, and Marvel will receive 5% of any movie revenue and a 50% cut of any marketing effort. The original Spider-Man contract was signed in 2014 when Sony's The Amazing Spider-Man 2 received dismal reviews and box office response. The offer states that Sony will retain all rights, but Marvel will create a new Spider-Man movie series in place of their own with Kevin Feige as producer. Sony will pay for and distribute this film, and more importantly, Sony will profit from their popularity. Sony initially rejected the proposal, but a high-profile breach in late 2014 exposed behind the scenes indecision over what to do with Spider-Man, prompting shareholders to force the studio to return to the negotiating table in early 2015. While the Spider-Man movie starring Tom Holland is complete, their future collaboration is highly anticipated. Since this character's future does look bright, but Sony still owns the movie rights to Spider-Man and its huge character library.
In 1985, the father of Marvel, Stan Lee, started planning to make Spider-Man into a movie, but they failed one after another in few times, until Sony under Columbia Pictures acquired the right to all of Spider-Man's script in 1999. The first version of Spider-Man was released in 2002, 2004, and 2007. However, Sony failed in the fourth episode of the first version Spider-Man and the second version, The Amazing Spider-Man. In this time, Marvel saw an opportunity to bring Spider-Man back to Marvel. Thus, the negotiations between Marvel and Sony began. At the last, Marvel succeeded to bring Spider-Man back to Marvel, and Marvel and Sony successfully collaborate on Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021.
Based on the conflict between Sony and Marvel regarding the filming rights of Spider-Man, they implemented a win-win strategy in their first and second Spider-Man deal to resolve their conflicts. Of course, at first, they too have their own interests. However, they're both willing to step away back and sacrifice some of their terms to finally make this collaboration happen. From the previous part, we learned that Sony initially has gained a lot of success and revenue with Spider-Man movie in 2002. However, development of Spider-Man movie didn't work well, so a deal is happened between Sony and Marvel Studios. This negotiation is about the share of Spider-Man. At first, Sony didn't agree this deal. However, at this particular time, a high-profile hack happened in late 2014 on Sony database, causing the expose of behind the scene of the negotiation between Marvel and Sony. Of course, fans around the world get crazy because Marvel at that time is a well-known superhero brand due to the success of Iron Man movie, and they hope Spider-Man will be able to return to MCU. And finally, due to public pressure, the deal has been accepted and both companies are in a win-win situation. Inside the agreement has stated that Sony will be the one that profited from the movies, and respectively, Spider-Man copyrights are still under Sony. Marvel would only retain 5% of the profits, and in return, they have given the right to using this rebooting Spider-Man character in some of their movie.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad NORA'ZII bin AZURIN, and I will explain to you about the new Sony and Marvel Spider-Man deal. For the second deal, they only cover for 2 more films. There is Spider-Man Homecoming in July 2001, as well as a mystery Marvel film. It was produced by Marvel Studio President Kevin Feige. For the new deal, Disney will now receive 25% of the profits from Spider-Man No Way Home box office, but at the same time, they are responsible for 1/4 of production costs. In response from Marvel and Disney, they declined the offer. Following a bad fan reaction at Disney Biennial Conference D23 and Holland's request, Disney resumed negotiation with Sony. Marvel Studios Spider-Man would be able to cross cinematic universes and appear in Sony-owned shared universes in the future. Sony will retain some sort of access to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. In this deal, it seems to be a win-win situation for these two companies and has ensured plenty of Spider-Man future. That's all for me.
Good morning, Doctor. My name is Hu Mingwai. Based on the case above, we have summarized the factors that caused them to have a deal. The first factor is the rise of Marvel. In recent years, the hero movies produced by Marvel has been favored by audience and received very high of box office. Due to the dismal box office of the Amazing Spider-Man produced by Sony, so Sony wanted to take this advantage of partnership to let Marvel create a new Spider-Man for them. While the second factor is the Sony 2014 hack. In 2014, a large amount of information from Sony networks was stolen and leaked to reporters, including Sony and Marvel Studios' secret talks about rebooting Spider-Man. After the information was leaked, it created a huge reaction among the society as they wish Spider-Man can go back to Marvel Studios and come out in the movie. So, Sony decided to partner with Marvel to protect its reputation. The outside world also curious about why Disney didn't buy back Spider-Man from Sony. The first reason is that Disney owns the merchandise rights of Spider-Man, and the merchandise related to Spider-Man is selling well in public and makes Disney profitable. The second reason is that monopoly rules. Since Sony is a big company, each purchase cost is too high and couldn't be justified by shareholders. Apart from that, Disney didn't have the experience and innovation that was able to maintain Sony's market share.
Hi, my name is ZAKUAN bin Muhammad RAZALI, and my part is about the reflection on the issue between Sony and Marvel Studio. From the issue that we had discussed, there are some knowledge and information that we can learn. First of all, as we know, Marvel has long wanted to include Spider-Man in its films, but the character has been off limits due to Sony Pictures' ownership of the character since 1999. According to sources familiar with the agreement, Marvel Studios will not pay Sony Pictures for the right to include Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War or any of its other superhero films as part of its new partnership with the studio. But the negotiation actually benefits both parties significantly. Sony needed to revitalize its Spider-Man franchise, and by lending its character to Marvel, it has found a way to increase exposure for its big screen hero. This also creates a lot of goodwill among Spider-Man fans who have long wanted to see the character join the Avengers. Sony's next step, of course, is to recast Spider-Man. Variety has learned that the studio is looking to return Spidey to his high school roots, which would necessitate casting younger actors. The studio is still working on the Spider-Man and a film featuring female characters in the Spider-Man universe. The third installment of The Amazing Spider-Man has been cancelled, according to sources, while Marvel's Kevin Feige is involved with Sony's new Spider-Man films. He is not expected to be creatively involved with spin-off.
That's all for our group presentation. Thank you.